Hey, this is Mike. I am visiting Sparks Toyota in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and I'm checking out a 2015 Toyota Sequoia Limited. So this is a large SUV that has tons of comfort and convenience features, heck of a safe vehicle, and very good for long trips and adventures. So I'm going to go into as much detail as possible, so this is going to be an in-depth look at it. So let's go ahead and check it out. Has a really I like the styling because pretty much all Toyotas have that smooth quality look to them. But just right off the bat, checking it out here on the side, you can see it's sitting on 20-inch aluminum wheels. Very classy, nothing cheesy about these. These are really classy and high quality. Dunlop tires, by the way. And then you have the side steps there to get in and out a little bit easier, since it is a pretty large vehicle. Alright, so let's go ahead and start here in the front. You see it has the halogen reflector headlights here. Then you have the halogen fog lights as well. And this one has the 5.7 liter V8, which gets 381 horsepower, 401 pound-feet of torque. It's the I-Force V8 that you would see like in the Tundra trucks. But we'll definitely check that out pretty soon. So let's go ahead. Okay, so let's go ahead and start taking a look on the inside. Has a very big chrome handle there to sit comfortable. Okay, so here's the inside of the passenger door. And this one has the premium JBL sound system, which sounds awesome. But we've got plenty of storage space there on the door, especially places to put cups and bottles and stuff. Perfect place to put your cell phone, I guess, right there if you have a large one. But also you have this little kind of secret compartment here on the door, so you can put some stuff. In here is kind of like a handle, but also it's a little storage pocket, and it is carpeted on the inside. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so let's take a look here. And it does have the power seat here on the passenger side with the lumbar support. Have the gray leather seats, very comfortable seats, has some slight bolstering. Plenty of leg room, and also the seat is way off the floor, so you got a really good comfortable seating position that's high up. You can, you feel comfortable when you're around big trucks and stuff, these type of vehicles. You have a handle to get in and out easier. And let's take a look at some storage areas. There's a glove compartment there, plus you have one down here. And there's the remote for the Blu-ray player. Of course, you can't go on a trip without that, especially with kids and stuff. You've got this little shelf system in there to kind of keep the glove compartment organized. It's kind of a fairly small glove compartment. I'm glad they were able to, increase the size with this one up here. Alright. The limited badge there. So let's take a look back here. And you can get this in an 8-passenger, which has the bench seat here in the center. But this one has the captain's chairs, which a lot of people like. So there's the inside of the rear door. You still have plenty of storage space and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and look here. You can see it's kind of like the step system here. You can step here, you can step there, and then get in to the back. Especially, this is useful. You do have a handle there, but you're probably noticing this seat is actually reclining. I went ahead and reclined it back so you can see the different seating positions. You have that side, which is just kind of your normal, vertical position. And then you have this ability to recline back. So if you're on a long trip and you just want to kind of stretch out, you can do that here in the back as well. And the seats will go forward and back, so that's pretty cool. So that has that adjustment there. So let's take a look here in the back. We've got the Blu-ray player with 9-inch widescreen. Here's some of your controls for your Blu-ray player, so you know, you have your inputs there. Plus it has a SD card input up here as well as the Blu-ray disc. You have wireless headphones that it's in the back. I'll show you that, but also a place to actually plug in headphones if you need to. Your climate controls are back here as well, and you do have an Edison plug, a two-prong Edison plug that goes up to 100 watts. So you can need to plug in a laptop and charge it or something like that. You can do that. Plus you have some cup holders that kind of swing down, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and move the seat forward by lifting this handle here, and kind of requires two hands, one to lift the handle, the other one to slide the seat forward slightly. It doesn't take much force, but it does take two hands. So now we can climb from this step, and get right on in to the back seats. And the back seats are pretty spacious, have plenty of space between the floor and the actual seats. And you can actually move the seats down, fold them down from this side or the back there, which I'll show you in a minute. You do have cup holders, storage space. The third row passengers are going to have a good time back here because they have a lot of things to, you know, places to put things and cup holders and all that stuff. Plus it has this place here, this little thing here to actually get in and out of the back, so they don't feel claustrophobic and actually get out themselves. They don't have to rely on other people. So I'm going to go ahead and hop in this seat here, this back seat, just kind of get an idea. Now I'm 6 feet tall, pretty good size, and let's see, let me turn the fan off there. Maybe that'll help. Okay, so my knees are nowhere near touching that seat. Nowhere near. I mean, there's just, you know, plenty of room there. I can actually put my feet underneath the front seat a little bit. I can recline and all that good stuff. And then I've got this arm space here. And yeah, I get kind of claustrophobic in a small environment, so this is something that, you know, I would feel comfortable riding in. Plus, it has the privacy glass, but also you have these shades that roll up, and you can hook them up here. I'll be using my other hand to be a little bit easier, but you can hook them. You hook them up here, so that way you got some more privacy, I guess, and also to keep the sun off of you, which is pretty cool. And you have one on that side as well. And the third row passengers have them back there as well. So I think that's pretty good. I really like those shades, especially when you can just roll them up, you know, roll them up and down any way you want. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the back. And this one has the towing package, which you know, if you're going on a trip, it really helps out to be able to tow a trailer, like if you're towing your boat or something like that. It also has the 4 and 7-way outlets there for your wiring harnesses, and it has the parking sensors and a lot of cool stuff, which I'll show you that on the inside. But this one has the power gate here. So right now the vehicle's running, so I'm just gonna lift it up manually, but I'll show you how to put it back down with the automatic setting. But anyways, because typically you just use your key, but the key's in ignition. So anyways, so here's the back, and you have like this power outlet back here. You have a place to hang stuff there, grocery bag hangers, and so here's your buttons here to fold. Let's say you're in Lowe's and you need to pick it up a box or something, and you're like, well, this isn't quite enough space. I know I got some space in here to put some stuff. But that's kind of a small space, and it also, you know, like to put some small stuff in there to keep it out of sight or whatever. But if you need some extra space back here, all you have to do, you have to lower the headrest by pushing that button. But once you do that, you can actually fold the seats down with these buttons here, and it'll just kind of slowly go down. And that's the same as those other buttons in the front I showed you. So that way you have this massive cargo capacity. It's like, you know, probably 75% more than what you had before. And you can still have somebody on this side in that seat. Now it's a 60-40 split, so you can have that seat down and this one up, or whatever you want. Plus, those second row seats can fold down. Okay, so I folded down the second row seats. You can actually see how much actual cargo area that you can actually have. It's like massive amounts of cargo space in this vehicle when you start folding seats down. Of course, it limits on your passenger space, but you still have the ability to have a combination of passenger and cargo space depending on what you need. But I think that's really cool. It's really handy to have a vehicle that's versatile. All right, so like I said, this is a automatic lift gate, and I'm going to push the button here to show you. You just have to push it and hold it for a second. It'll beep, tell you to get out of the way, and there it goes down. And that's handy to use on the key mostly, because the key, you can just walk up to the vehicle, you just hold down the button on the key and it lifts up and you can put your stuff in there. All right, so let's look here on the inside the gas door, and the gas cap is on the driver's side, which is very convenient. I'm not going to open it because it's running, but you can unscrew this, and it's tethered with this little plastic thing, but you don't want to let it hang down and scratch your paint. So it has this little holder right here, so you can just put it right there, and it's out of the way while you're pumping gas, and also it's not hanging down and scratching your paint. All right. I know what you're thinking. You want to see that engine. You want to see the 5.7 liter. So, and I agree with you. So let's check it out. All right, so to open up the hood, the latch is just under here to the right of the center of the Toyota sign. And it's right there. All right. 5.7 liter, it is covered up with plastic, some of it, but it's a 5.7 liter V8 with an intelligent VVT system, which allows it to give you the best gas mileage and give you the highest torque and power at the same time. And if you're not familiar with VVT, I do have a video with Matt. He is the engineer student, and he can explain it to you way better than I can, so you can check out that video. But it's a very, very smooth running engine. You can see some metal there, which makes me happy. Don't like to have engines covered up with plastic, but that's just me. All right, and I like the way it holds itself up with those shocks there. And it is paired with a solid 6-speed automatic transmission. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look on the inside behind the driver's wheel. Okay, so before we get behind the wheel, I just want to show you a few things. The driver's door has a little secret pocket just like the other side, and same, pretty much a mirror of the other side. But the seat here, it has the lumbar support, the power adjustments, but it also has something that the other side didn't, and that is the ability to adjust this portion of the seat. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you by pushing this button what it does. It lifts that part up, and that way you can really get the leg support that you want. And you fine tune it. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop in, and I'm going to turn it off so you can hear what it sounds like to start up. Alright, so here we are behind the wheel, checking out the inside. So it has this massive center stack, plenty of room. But let's go ahead and start over here and check out the driver's door. Now you saw the little secret compartment it had, but there's your power windows, and the front two are automatic, so you can just push it and it'll go all the way down or all the way up at a touch of a button. But the rear windows, you do have to, hold them down, depending on which way you want to go. Power door locks are here. You can lock out the rear windows from being rolled up and down with this button if you want to, but that's completely up to you. And so over here is your side mirror controls, and you just have to choose left or right, and then you can adjust the side mirrors. They are heated side mirrors, by the way. And the side mirrors also have these turn signal indicators that flash. I don't know if you can see that. But also, if you push this button, you can power fold them in. So when you have it parked, you can power fold them like so. Both of them will do that. Or if you're just trying to squeeze through a tight garage or something like that, you can just fold them in there anytime you want. These buttons are for your interior lights. You can turn them all on like that. You can have it to where when the door opens, it'll turn them on. Or you can have them to where they won't turn on at all, even when the door opens. So here's your button to open up your power lift gate. This is the button that will turn on, like say if you have your windshield wipers on, then it'll turn on your headlights. Alright, so here's the steering wheel. It is a leather wrap steering wheel, very comfortable. It has a really good texturing. It's not super smooth. It does have some really interesting texture to it that gives it a real high quality feel. So you notice there's a bunch of buttons, and let's go ahead and go through. This it has Bluetooth to pair your cell phone with the system, and these are the buttons here to use that. If you're driving along and somebody calls you, you can just push this button to answer the phone and talk to them. To hang up, you just push that button. To make a call, you push the voice recognition button, and you can say, call John or whatever. But the voice recognition button is a little bit more than that. You can actually change the stations. You can navigate with the navigation system. There's lots of different commands that you can use with the voice recognition system besides just making calls. But it is a very good safety feature. Keeps your hands on the wheel, eyes on the road while being productive, which I really think is great. These buttons here on the left correspond with the radio over here. So I can scroll up and down on the presets there. I can push to the right or left to go to different stations. And also I can push mode, which will cycle me through like AM, FM, satellite radio, different things like that. Plus I have a back button in case I'm in a particular screen I need to get back out of, which is pretty handy. Keeps your hands on the wheel. Okay, so here's your headlight controls. This has an automatic setting, and you can turn off the daytime running lights if you want to. And then you have automatic parking lights, and then you can turn your headlights on there. I really like the automatic setting myself. And then the fog lights you can turn on and off here. On that side is your windshield wiper controls and everything. So here's your gauges, and has a pretty good amount of them. So right there in the center you have your miles per hour. There to the left is your RPM gauge, and you have a temperature gauge in there with the RPM gauge, and that is your transmission temperature. So let me just zoom in there so you can see that little gear. That little gear right there is telling you that it's the transmission. That's how you can tell the difference. Because on this side you have your engine coolant temperature there, and has a little bit different symbol. But they're both temperature gauges. They're just giving you the temperature of different things. Fuel gauge up here, and it has a little gas pump with a little arrow to the left showing you which side your gas pump is, your fuel door is on. And then you have your battery voltage and your oil pressure. And these are all important stuff here. And then your odometer, and then your trip, which you can reset with this little button right here. All right. Okay, so you can push this information button. This little screen right here will cycle through some different information. So pushing the information button will cycle through like how many miles to empty, your trip timer, average speed, and all that good stuff, average fuel economy. and then you can select different things there. Also, you can set up, like, say your units. Say you want to have liters or different measurements. You can set up that if you want to. All doors unlock. You can set it to where when you start driving, the doors will lock and unlock automatically. So you start driving, you get up to a certain speed, the doors lock. When you stop, you put it in park, the doors unlock. So that's basically there. And your sonar, the sensors for backing up are actually sonar, and you can push that on or off if you want to, because sometimes you're backing up and it beeps at you and you need to get close to something, and it's just the beeping's kind of annoying you or distracting you. You can turn that feature on and off there. So down here is your traction control button, and that's something that's always on, but if you need to, you can turn it off there, and this will allow you to spin tires if you need to. So if you're stuck or in the snow or mud, you can push that to turn it off in case you needed, spin tires. Now this is awesome right here. This is which I'll show you. This is, look back there, and that DVD's player is getting in the way. Okay, so you can roll the whole back glass down just by pushing that button, and it's automatic. So you just push it, and it goes up or down. Isn't that cool? So you can get some really good airflow, or you can lower it down and put stuff in and out of there. It's like a big power window, which I think is awesome. Alright, so let's take a look here. Place to put your quarters or whatever, and then you can close it up. Your fan speed, but let's go into that. That's part of your climate control. We'll get that to get that in a minute. But here's your tow and haul button in case you're pulling a trailer. You just want to make sure that's on. Place to put stuff, little pocket there. Alright, so up here we have let's see if I can zoom in to show you. You got your outside temperature, plus you have a clock up there, and then you have the adjustments for the clock there to the right. Okay, so here's your touchscreen radio with the CD player right there at the top, and you have the volume knob, tune through the stations knob, pretty typical knobs there. But let's go ahead and get out of this, because this is where you connect the phone, and right now we're not going to connect the phone. So let's push this audio button, and this is going to show us our radio where our presets there, and we can change our source, which there's lots of different sources: AM, FM, satellite radio, Bluetooth, and but also these two that are blacked out are the USB and auxiliary inputs, which once you plug it in, you'll have that popping up, and you can reorder them in case you want to do that. And so let's go here to apps, because this kind of shows you an overview of all the different things that you can have on there. Besides the audio, you also have the navigation. So this is your map. It is in night mode now because I have the shade covering up the sensor, and so you get an idea. It'll actually dim down with the black background to avoid blinding you while you're driving at night, but it has a typical navigation system like a Garmin or something you see on your cell phone. It's very easy to use. You can put in different destinations, stuff like that. So let's go back to apps. You can pair your phone, and once you pair your phone, you'll have access to your phone book, recent calls, also your signal strength on your phone, plus your battery life. All that stuff will show on the screen. You can set up different things if you want to, like your home screen. You can set up a phone, the reorder the phone, so like they have a priority system. You can change your audio settings, your navigation settings, all here. Alright, let's go back to apps. Traffic and weather. It's pretty cool. You actually have different information. You do have to have HD radio for that. Plus you can add apps once you pair your cell phone with the sound. You kind of connect your cell phone there, and that way you can play, like, say, Pandora and stuff like that through the sound system. Okay, so let's continue on. Now here's your climate control. You have a digital readout on what your climate control is doing, and then you have these really easy to use knobs here. Your fan speed, your temperature on the driver's side, temperature on the passenger side, and then your mode, so you can change where you want the air to blow. Plus you can adjust your rear temperature, and you can just push rear and everything is controlling the rear. So it's a tri-zone system. So you can adjust the rear climate control from up here as well, in case you have kids or something back there. You do have heated seats here in the front, driver and passenger. This is where your auxiliary and USB ports will be for playing music through the sound system. Plus you can charge, you know, your cell phone or whatever there with the USB. 2 power supplies, and this one has the smoker's group, which gives you a cigarette lighter, and the ashtray here. Have a little pocket to put stuff, cup holders, really good size cup holders by the way. And there's the little ashtray that, you know, comes with the smoker's group. And then you got this place right here, but also you got a hidden secret pocket for putting stuff in there. Or you can use that for standing up your cell phone, which I think that's what I would use it for. Little storage pocket there. So here's the shifter, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in reverse. It's very easy to use. I mean, like literally the handle's pretty good size and comfortable, but I mean, just moving the shifter is so easy. Of course, you have to push your foot on the brake to do this. So now it's in reverse. So the backup camera pops up here, and it has these guidelines because it is a wide angle view lens, and it will kind of help you get you an idea of how wide the vehicle is as you're backing up. Plus it has this red line. This, like, literally that's as close as you want to get to something, because with the distorted lens it looks like you have a lot more than what you do. So you want to make sure you heed that red line there. Down here is a few feet, here's only a few inches. Okay, so let's continue down with the shifter. There's neutral there, and then drive. And if you really need to change through the gears to the 6-speed automatic transmission, you can put it over here in an S, which is like a sport mode, and you can cycle through the gears and change to whatever gear you want. And then you can always go back to drive if you want to. So that's really handy if you need to downshift, you're going downhill or something, you need to do some engine braking. So that's what that's for. Okay, so you got this really big center armrest console, and this lifts up, and you've got this whole organizer system underneath here for pens and tissues and all kinds of stuff. Plus that's the organizer, and then this is the disorganizer. Because you've got this bin here, and you can put some stuff in there. You've got the center bin, and you can actually remove this, take it out, and you can put some stuff in there, and it's going to get cluttered. The reason why I say it's a disorganizer, because it's so big you're going to get it cluttered up. That's the way I see it. Usually people put a bunch of small stuff in there, but you got the power supply there, 12 volt, and it's big enough to where you can put like file folders in there and hang them there on the side. So I guess you could get some organization going on in there if you're into that kind of stuff. If you need some papers or whatever, the file folder thing is really cool. Alright, so here's the rear view mirror, and it has a digital compass there. The vehicle's facing southwest. Here at the bottom there's a whole bunch of buttons. You can turn that compass off with this button there in case it's just distracting you. It does have an auto dim feature, which you can turn on and off with this button. And then you have these 3 buttons here with little houses on them, and those are for your garage door opener. So you can pair those with the garage door opener, so that way you don't have to carry around your garage door opener with you. Okay, so up here we have a place to put your shades here, and you have a little conversation mirror here, and it's adjustable, so you can aim it at the person you want to scold or whatever or talk to. And then we have tap lights here, so you can have an instant reading light to look at something. Microphone for your Bluetooth system is right there. These buttons are for your sunroof, which I'll show you that in a second, because I want to show you this. This is your visor, and it has these lights in here, but they're dimmable, so you can have them brighter or dimmer. Isn't that cool? Plus the visor, see if I can show you this. The visor unsnaps and then it slides out, so you can move it around here like so, and you can slide it right where you want it. But then let's say the sun's shining over here too, you can move this down. So you've got 2 visors, which I think is awesome, because sometimes you just really don't want the sun on you, especially if you're on a long trip. You really can just kind of get annoyed at the sun after a while, and at least I do anyway. and you have that same system on the passenger side, so everybody's hooked up here in the front. Alright, so let's take a look back here. Well, let's go ahead and do the sunroof. So you got this sunroof, it has a shade, so you can avoid the sun like before. But if you want to get the sun, you can open it up, but also you can vent it like that, or you can slide it all the way back like that, so you can really get some airflow, especially with that back tail window open, windows down, sunroof open. It's like being outside when you're driving around. It's almost like a convertible. Of course, you can always close it up, and on a hot day like today where there's lots of sun, you can close up the shade, and that way you don't have the sun on you. Alright, so let's take a look at the visibility. Now that one seat's down, but I think you get the idea. It's a pretty good amount of visibility, especially considering it has the backup camera and all that stuff. Alright, so what do you think? 2015 Toyota Sequoia? Do you like it? Is it something you're considering buying? Do you own one? Have you taken one for a test drive? Have you ever driven one? Does your friend have one? Let us know in the comments. It really helps out with people watching these videos if you can, put your experience in the comment section, and that way people can, ask you questions, or you can, just say, hey, you liked it or whatever. But anyways, thank you for watching, and thank you to Sparks Toyota for allowing me to check out this awesome car and show it off with the world. So I'll see you next time.